It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the valedictorian for the class of 2023, Mark Mazin.
Good evening, St. Mary's, Board of Trustees, Mr. Puck, administration, faculty, and staff, parents, and my beloved class of 2023. The culmination of a long journey has finally led us to the precipice of a new milestone in our lives. But before we begin to traverse the path to our next summit, I wanted to offer you, my friends, a word of insight from the great gift we have received right here at St. Mary's. This year, our community went through an accreditation process. Through this, many of us have had the opportunity to reflect on the Lasallian mission of our campus. I had the honor to serve on the Authentic Catholic Identity Group, where our president, Mr. Puck, said that all of this and all of what we are doing here is ultimately for the students. In that moment of pure and faithful service to his community, I remembered the star of Lasallian core principles that has guided us through these last 4 years. The star whose light we have followed and let us lead the way in our journey to this point. The star that hung on the walls of every single classroom at our campus. My friends, our community has instilled the radiance of Lasallian core principles within us. With its beam, we will proceed onwards into fully grown human beings, dedicated to the embetterment of this world. So graciously, to our mentors who have lit the candle wicks of our knowledge, I want to reflect on Saint John Baptiste de La Salle's spirit in all of us. After we part ways, recall his light. Reflect on it during long all-nighters studying for exams, before preparing for a prayer service, before an important game, before a heart-wrenching performance, or a life-changing decision. And most importantly, light the way for others. Share the mission of a Lasallian spirit with our fellow humans. As we become students of learning, let the quality of education of our 4 years here guide our epistemological minds. As we become dedicated researchers, passionate lawyers, daring entrepreneurs, professional athletes and performers, how we think will be critical in our diverging careers. It's easy to rely on the knowledge of experience or intrinsic biases that emerge in our lives, but here at St. Mary's, we know that thinking requires much more than just one angle. So remember the distinction between System 1 and System 2 thinking, as Palladino taught us, and think critically about the actions in your career. Let the education we've had here at St. Mary's help you engage with the world in a way that will help you overcome the kind of thinking that polarizes our society. Be the kind of person to question and challenge yourself, to discover the nature of reality. And to those here who will become educators, be the mentors who will guide the next generation to learn how to think rather than simply what to think. As we become voting citizens of our fracturing democracy, let the respect for all persons that we have gained for our community enlighten you to the dignity of humanity. The future is uncertain. Judges are blocking access to healthcare for some of the most vulnerable people on earth, and policymakers are limiting the opportunities for learning about race and culture in some of our classrooms. Much conflict in our world stems from the lack of respect for the dignity every human possesses. So at the ballot box, or in front of the many decisions we must make, Remember the community here at St. Mary's. Remember the dignity we saw in each other and its gleam in those who often go unseen. Each year here at St. Mary's, we've had the opportunity to find that respect in our peers. So now, as we become active citizens of the world, we shall respect the dignity of humanity by sharing the Lasallian spirit. If we see the intrinsic worth of every human being, we will forge a much brighter future for everyone. As we leave our small, tightly knit community, I implore us all to seek another inclusive community. Here we have welcomed our diverse stories, unique tales, and many perspectives. Due to the ever-changing nature of our inclusive community, our voices shaped each other's worldviews. However, in the world, various narratives have a way of disappearing into the void. But as we have learned from our many experiences here, we must continue to tell our stories and never let a voice go unheard. We've had the chance many times to hear the stories of others through literature, brown bag lunches, and the powerful speakers of our fireside chats. From Holocaust survivors to most recently, with Tawny and Larry Steiner, who have shared ways in which incarceration of individuals influences entire families. We have had many opportunities to listen to the life lessons of our fellow humans. And to continue this legacy, we must simply listen. Listen to the voices of your future communities so that everyone can tell their tale. Listen and understand the world in a new light. And with these stories, may we stand in solidarity in our concern for the poor and social justice. We have done so much here as a class in our mission to care for others, from charitable acts here at home for people experiencing poverty, to traveling across the globe in pursuit of service. We have proven to be a class of action, so our acts of kindness may spread and bloom as a valley of light-speckled wildflowers. As we leave St. Mary's, I remind you that we have the power to seek aid for those who need it. We can restore justice and repair the damage many of our fellow humans face. Every year, we have learned from on Founders Day the extent that St. John Baptiste de La Salle's service for people less fortunate than he was. He gave everything he had to feed the hungry. He made it his life mission to educate everyone, regardless of status. We must be grateful to the service we have had given by him, the brothers, and our mentors. So too, we must leave the school as acolytes of a philosophy of compassion. Without action and care for those who need it, our light may fall to darkness. So to maintain its luminescence, we must show concern for those who have nothing. Last but not least, there is something that St. Mary's has instilled in all of us. Regardless of our religious status, we all deeply understand what it means to have faith in the presence of God. Our interreligious dialogue has transformed us all to a point where we know the power of faith and the awareness many of us hold with God. From Does Religion Matter courses to prayer services, we have all explored our relationship with spirituality and each other. As we split, we will all continue to understand what faith means. From each other, we have gained an eternal relationship with spirituality that will last us for the rest of our lives. And regardless of a future that follows us beyond this precipice, this relationship will guide us to see the world in a new way. And that, my friends, is how we climb to the next summit, and the one after that. Guided by the gleaming star of St. Mary's and the Lasallian mission, it will illuminate the path to the next steps in our journeys. And although the world is full of darkness, cruelty, and uncertainty, we all have the capability to find radiance within us. So, my friends, let there be light. Let there be hope on our subsequent journeys. Let there be compassion in our actions. Let there be wisdom in our thoughts. Let there be faith in our prayers. And most importantly, let there be light in the future we create. As we leave today behind and start the following day, let our great work begin. across the globe and throughout many fields of study, and shine brightly with the love that we have attained from here and our time at St. Mary's. Now our ways part, but despite that, we carry with us the Lasallian mission. Goodbye, everyone. And for the last time, my friends, I encourage us all to sparkle on, St. Mary's.